Incredible! One of the most polished VR games to date comes to the MetaQuest 3. Today we're looking into why we can talk to ghosts like this fella, why on earth this guy's a problem.
Are you gonna help or not?
All right, fine.
And why this week I couldn't stop thinking about Ghost Town. Straight off the bat, you're not going to want to skip over this one. Let's do this. Fireproof Games, the team behind virtual reality's beloved hit The Room VR, presents the supernatural story-driven puzzle adventure game Ghost Town. I want to emphasise the supernatural story of that last sentence, as The Room VR was an awesome escape room style game, but it was fairly light on the story. Here we have a proper adventure that was captivating throughout. Ooh. You play as Jacqueline Milne's beautifully narrated Edith Penrose with her infectious Irish accent.
We're gonna get rats if the council doesn't clean this up. It's been boarded up for months now.
So she's a ghost hunter that can talk to spirits who've passed to the other side and runs a paranormal detective agency with her flatmate who handles all the technology needed for such ghostly encounters. That all sounds quite Ghostbusters, but this is a more darker, sort of witches and warlocks, Buffy the Vampire Slayer kind of affair. It's not too scary. It certainly has its moments that are pretty terrifying, but on the whole, this is a really approachable level of spooks, somewhere in the realms of The Seventh Guest. I found myself pushing forward without having to rip my headset off like I do in most really scary games. Now, I don't want that to sound too like a negative, as for someone like me, that's perfect. You know, I do actually want to finish the games I download. So Edith's world gets turned upside down when her brother, remember this guy? Well, he goes missing. Your only lead lies in a remote Scottish lighthouse island, the home of a contact, a gifted clairvoyant who might be able to provide some answers to your brother's whereabouts. As you explore the gorgeous locations, you'll interact with a whole host of characters, both living and dead, with performances all wonderfully motion captured and rendered onto beautiful 3D models with fantastic facial animations. It's in this first lighthouse where we meet our first ghost, and the game begins. So let's forget about the brilliant story and characters and get down to the nitty-gritty of the puzzles. They aren't too difficult. I didn't need to use the hint system once throughout my 6-ish hour playthrough. I found it pretty perfect for my taste. I definitely felt like my brain was getting a workout, but I do find nothing worse in these type of games when you're stuck and can't progress. There was one bit where I got stuck for a little while, but I thought a little harder and it got me through it. I think getting the puzzle design and difficulty right is definitely an art, and testament to the experience the team over at Fireproof Games has accrued from their previous The Room series. They really know by this point what makes a puzzle game fun. There's tons of different locations that you're taken to throughout the story, and tons of variety in the puzzles. In this first location, you have to match wires up so that the electricity flows through the white lights, but not the red. This is a typical example of the kinds of challenges you'll be facing. Every puzzle feels like it fits the location, and you rarely get that escape room feeling where you know you're going to have to get about 20 different things before you can leave. It does have those moments, but it's not littered with them. Rarely are you held back from moving the story forward. Now, if you've played The Room VR before, you'll understand what I mean when I allude to the high levels of polish you'll find in Ghost Town. Little scratches reflect on the glass of a CRT telly, the ghostly effects to make the spirits more supernatural, the way your torchlight bounces off surfaces. The visual effects aren't always just to build atmosphere either. Sometimes clever visual effects play a part in the puzzles too, but of course I'll leave that for you to discover yourself. UK's Guildford-based Fireproof Games spent the last 4 years crafting this game, and they really smashed it out of the park. I'll certainly have my eye on this developer for as long as they keep producing games like this. Now, not everything is interactable. I want to put your expectations in check, as it's the first thing I picked up on. I think this was a design choice. At its heart, this is a puzzle game with escape room style mechanics, although I want to make it clear, like I previously mentioned, you're never stuck in a single room for any one too long a time. So only things that are of interest and relevant to the puzzles are interactable. And I don't mind this. If you pick something up and add it to your inventory, you're one step closer to solving a puzzle. On a sort of personal taste level, I've been playing around in VR for a long time now, and I'm not really impressed by having random cans and bottles and any old junk interactable with no gameplay purpose. I'd rather save the optimization by having the game not have to calculate the rigid body. Let's get a bit nerdy with it. For those nerds among us, of which I'm proudly one, this game was made using Unity engine. I think there's a bit of a stigma in the game industry that, in talented hands, a game made with Unreal Engine will always outperform one crafted in Unity. Well, you'd be wrong. It's proven here. The game performs incredibly smooth and looks stunning. The texture work is highly detailed and everything is nice and sharp, with very little of that edge shimmering we see in something like Wanderer, The Fragments of Fate, or Alien Rogue Incursion. Not only does it perform and look amazing, it feels amazing to play. There's none of that VR jank or weird fake weight that's so popular to put on items that I'm vocally not a fan of. Everything just works exactly how you'd imagine it should work, 100% of the time. For a puzzle game that's full of loads of different interactions like sliding levers, rotating plinths, and interlocking gizmos, this is of course crucial to the experience. The game also has no character body, it's just floaty hands. Again, much like the omission of fake item weight, I'm also a fan. I know a lot of you really enjoy the VR bodies, but I find there's two reasons I personally prefer not to have them. I find they get in the way of what I'm looking at sometimes, and I find them often not represent what my actual body is doing. I mean, if the gold standard of Half-Life Alyx was fine with just floaty hands, then it's just fine here for me. Alright, big trending topic at the moment, how much is it? £22 at launch. That is a no-brainer. I've got a discount code in the description for 10% off, as I always do. Hey look, if you consider yourself a VR gamer and want to see more incredible experiences like this, and less crap like Gorilla Tag or Horizon Worlds, then you've got to invest when companies are putting out material like this. I promise you, you're going to have a great time with Ghost Town. As always, thanks for watching Goosey Goggles. See ya!